Hi, and welcome to Mary's Comfy Kitchen, Garden, and Studio. Today I don't have a recipe for you, I don't have any fancy garden tricks, and I don't even have any artwork to share. But I want to talk to you about something that I think is important, that I think should be talked about. And that is belief and the power that we put into other people's words. Or even more scary, the power we put into our own words that could be crap. We have these negative tapes that play in our heads over and over and over again, and we start to believe them. And we start to act as if they were true, when they're not. I once heard a pastor say that the greatest sin of mankind is unbelief. And I immediately wrote that down. I couldn't write it down fast enough. And at that time, if you'd asked me why I wrote it down, the truth is I don't know. But he was up there and he said it with such passion and conviction. It was clear to me that he believed that it was something important. So I wrote it down. And here I sit in front of you a good 17 years later, and I know now why it was so important. Because things have power because we believe that they do. Prayer, words, beliefs, other people's beliefs, labels, crystals, whatever. It doesn't matter. Medicine, right? The placebo effect. People get better because they believe that they're getting the real medicine. I saw a video once that said when a teacher is told that a child has a very high IQ, that the child rises to meet that expectation. People can change by the way we change how we think about them, which means we can change if we change the way we think about ourselves. If we believe in ourselves and we believe in our own power. A football coach once told my 11-year-old son, he said to him, you know, it's good that you're not on my team, because if you were on my team, I wouldn't play you anyway. And my son was shocked, and he said, why? The coach told him, because you're too short. Before that moment, I had never heard my son identify himself as being too short. But from that point forward, it became his new level, or his good enough, or limiting belief that I was not going to stand for. Too short, too fat, too tall. What the hell is that? You're not college material, so you could go to trade school. What if I'd believed that? That's what I was told in high school. That I wasn't college material, and that if I wanted to be successful, I should consider going to trade school. I knew the moment that those words escaped that person's lips that it was bullshit. And I did not put my belief or any power into those words. That's not to say that later in my life that I didn't put belief into limiting words, because I did. And then in those occasions, those limiting beliefs did not work well for me, did not serve me in my life. And when I heard my son prancing around the house on different occasions, referring to himself as unable to do this or that because he was too short, I put a stop to it. And when I started hearing his siblings poke fun at him, calling him too short, I put a stop to it, because that is not a limiting belief that I want my son to subscribe to. I raise my children believing that there isn't anything that they can't do. There isn't any dream that they can't make possible for themselves. I don't believe in the words, be realistic. What if the Wright brothers had been realistic? Then we wouldn't be able to fly today, and we can. We can get on an airplane and go anywhere around the world. What if Ben Franklin had been realistic? I could go on and on. of all of the great innovators that, had they been realistic, had they not dreamed, had they not set the bar so high for themselves, that we would not be reaping the rewards of modern conveniences that we have today. That I'm sitting here in my home making a video that I'm going to put out into the internet that could reach someone on the other side of the world and make a difference maybe. We can never truly know the impact that we have on the lives of others. You could meet someone briefly on a bus trip, smile at them, say one encouraging thing to them, and that could be a moment that they will remember for the rest of their life. And it will change them, and you'll never know. Well, what about the people that we know for years, that we see day in, day out? What about the things we do and the things we say and the impact it has on them? Last night, I yelled at my son. My son Brian he has an autism spectrum disorder. But I don't use that label, and I don't tolerate him using it or anyone else using it as if that defines what he's capable of, because it doesn't. I know my son. His grades are slipping to B's, and he's spending too much time on his electronics, and so I took the electronics, and he's very frustrated with that. Now I'll admit that last night I was under a lot of stress, irritated and upset and angry and under pressure for a lot of other things, and maybe the way I presented what I said wasn't the best way to present it. But the fact of the matter is, my son looked at me after screaming and with so much angst says to me, "Mom, what's the matter with bees?" The simple fact is, nothing. Nothing is the matter with bees. In fact, if bees are your personal best, then there's not a thing wrong with bees. But I know my son, and I know that bees are not his personal best. And I will never let my son settle for less than I know that he is capable of. And so he's still grounded, and he still can't have his electronics, and he can't have them back till he gets A's, because that's what he's capable of. Because those are the grades he has been getting since kindergarten. And I'm not, all of a sudden in the middle of 6th grade, going to accept less. I'm not going to let him get lazy. And I'm not going to let him settle for good enough. I don't let myself settle for good enough. Not anymore. I set the bar pretty high, and maybe I unrealistically try to cram 48 hours worth of stuff into a 24-hour day. But I have dreams. I have things that I want to accomplish. I've heard it said that your life's work is the intersection between the world's greatest need and your greatest joy. And I finally know what that is. Healing. Helping people. It is my heart's desire to help people who suffer from chronic pain. And I think that massage therapy can do that. And I've made a great deal of sacrifices. And every ounce of resources I have has gone so that I could do this education, so I could get these credentials, and so I could do it well. And unfortunately, I guess I signed my family up to make sacrifices that they weren't consulted about. And lately I've been feeling a little bit guilty. I feel bad that I haven't been able to spend any real significant time with my adult daughters since Christmas. I feel bad that I haven't made my younger children made from scratch meals like I used to, that they're eating frozen food and takeout and leftover takeout so that I can give everything I've got to school. And that every ounce of financial resources, sacrifices have been made. And so I have to do my personal best. I cannot ask my kids to give me their personal best if I can't give this my personal best. I love my kids. I love my family. I love my friends. And I am just trying to be the best me that I can. And that includes belief and personal power. I understand that when people who love me tell me to be realistic, that they're not trying to limit me, but somehow in my own head, that's what I hear. I realize this video is kind of random and a little long, and I'm not real sure how to end it, but I feel like there are a lot of people out there who feel the same way, that feel like they're spinning their wheels, that they're not doing a good job. All I ever wanted to be was a mom. As far back as I can remember, I wanted children of my own. And if I died tomorrow, it'd be okay. Because I am all I ever wanted to be. Anything after this, it's gravy. I love my life. I am truly blessed, and my cup really does runneth over. I love you all, and I want you to understand that you are the most important person on this planet. That no one's opinion matters more than your own. And the only thing that is holding you back, the only limits that are really in your life, are the ones that you set for yourself. You are not alone, and you can do this. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me.